Dr. Lisa Morgan stood at the window of the transport ship and watched as Europa grew larger. The icy moon of Jupiter glowed with a pale blue light against the darkness of space. She took a deep breath to calm her nerves. As Earth's first representative to the Vexillian Confederation, she carried the hopes of humanity on her shoulders. "We begin descent in 5 minutes, Dr. Morgan," the AI pilot announced. "Please secure yourself for landing." Lisa checked her suit seals one last time. Her background in marine biology made her a good choice for this mission. She was used to working in hostile environments and with strange life forms, but nothing could have prepared her for actual aliens. The ship landed with a gentle bump. Lisa gathered her bags and walked to the airlock. When the outer door opened, she got her first look at the Vexillian research station. It was a sprawling complex of domes and tunnels built into the icy surface of Europa. The reception area was a large, round room with high ceilings. The air felt different, slightly thicker than Earth normal, with a sweet smell like cinnamon. Standing in the center of the room was a being unlike anything Lisa had ever seen. Chief researcher Zach Lorne floated 3 feet off the ground. Its body was a swirling mass of purple gas contained within a transparent environmental suit. Several mechanical arms extended from the suit's sides, ending in various tools and instruments. "Welcome to Europa Station, Dr. Morgan," Zach Lorne said. Its voice came from a speaker on the front of the suit. "I trust your journey was acceptable?" "Yes, thank you," Lisa replied, trying to hide her amazement. "It's an honor to be here." "The honor is ours," Zach Lorne said. "You are the first human to visit our research facility. Your presence here will advance our understanding of your species." "Greatly," Lisa smiled. "I hope to learn just as much about the Confederation species." Zicalorn made a bubbling movement that Lisa would later learn was their version of agreement. "Come. The other researchers are eager to meet you." Lisa followed the floating alien down a long corridor. The walls were made of a strange material that seemed to shift colors as they walked. Soon, they entered another large room filled with various alien beings. A crystalline creature that glittered like a diamond statue turned toward them. Next to it floated what looked like a jellyfish in a water-filled container. On a raised platform, a being made of flickering light patterns pulsed gently. "These are my fellow researchers," Zicalorn explained. "Trevik is our crystalline biology expert." The diamond figure nodded stiffly. "Meloon specializes in fluid-based life forms." The jellyfish creature waved a tentacle. "And Luxnim studies energy patterns in living beings." The light being flickered brightly. "It's amazing to meet you all," Lisa said, truly meaning it. Before she could say more, Zach Lorne motioned to a circular platform in the center of the room. "If you would please stand here, Dr. Morgan. We must perform some basic scans for our records." Lisa stepped onto the platform. Immediately, beams of colored light began to sweep over her body. Holographic displays appeared around the room showing her skeletal structure, muscle systems, and internal organs. She noticed the aliens growing still. The jellyfish Meloon's tentacles began to twist anxiously. Turvik's crystalline body changed from clear to a cloudy gray. Lux Nim's light patterns became erratic. "Is something wrong?" Lisa asked. The aliens exchanged what she assumed were concerned looks. Zicalorn floated closer to one of the displays, its gas body swirling faster inside its suit. "Dr. Morgan," Zicalorn said carefully. "Are you well?" Lisa blinked in confusion. "Yes, I'm in perfect health. Why?" "Our scans indicate..." "Well, they indicate numerous critical problems with your biological systems." Lisa laughed, then stopped when she realized the alien was serious. "What kind of problems?" Zicalorn's mechanical arm pointed to the display showing her skeleton. "Your internal support structure is divided into hundreds of separate pieces connected by flexible tissue. Any significant impact could cause these pieces to disconnect or break." "You mean my bones? That's normal for humans." The aliens made various sounds of surprise or concern. Meloon's water tank bubbled vigorously. "And this," Zicalorn continued, pointing to her circulatory system. Your vital fluids are contained in thin, fragile tubes that branch throughout your entire body. There is no redundancy. A single breach could cause critical failure. You mean I could bleed to death? Well, yes, but our blood vessels are pretty resilient. Trivik stepped forward, its crystal body making a tinkling sound as it moved. Your neural control center is protected only by a thin layer of mineral deposits. The most important part of your biological system has minimal protection. My skull is actually quite strong, Lisa said, feeling defensive now. Luxnim pulsed rapidly and Zekalorn translated. Luxnim notes that your energy processing system requires constant input of external materials, processed through a single pathway with multiple points of potential failure. You mean eating? Yes, we need to eat regularly. The scans continued, and with each new discovery, the aliens grew more concerned. They were horrified that she had only 2 eyes with no backup visual sensors. They found it alarming that she couldn't regrow limbs or organs. The fact that she required oxygen constantly and would die after just minutes without it seemed to them like a critical design flaw. By the end of the examination, the 4 alien researchers had formed a circle away from her and were communicating, in their own languages. Bubbling gases, clicking crystals, pulsing lights, and waving tentacles. Lisa stood awkwardly on the platform, not sure if she should step down. Finally, Zekalorn turned back to her. Dr. Morgan, we apologize for our reaction. We did not expect human biology to be so uniquely structured. You mean you think we're fragile? Lisa said. Not fragile, Zekalorn corrected. Puzzling. Your species appears to function despite what our standards would classify as critical biological vulnerabilities. We've survived quite well for thousands of years, Lisa pointed out. Indeed, Zekalorn agreed, which makes humans all the more fascinating. We have decided to form a special observation committee to study your species in more detail. Lisa wasn't sure how to feel about being a research subject rather than a colleague, but she understood their scientific curiosity. After all, she felt the same way about them. I'm happy to help with your research, she said, but I hope I can do my own studies as well. Of course, Zekalorn said. The exchange of knowledge benefits us all. Please, let me show you to your quarters. Tomorrow, more of our researchers will want to meet you. As Lisa followed Zekalorn out of the room, she heard the other aliens still discussing her in their strange languages. She smiled to herself. She had come to Europa to study alien life, but it seemed the aliens found humans just as alien and interesting. It was going to be an eventful mission. 3 weeks after Lisa Morgan's arrival at Europa Station, a second transport ship docked at the facility. Professor Alan Carter stepped through the airlock, his tall frame ducking slightly under the entrance. He carried a small bag and wore the standard Earth-issued space uniform, though it stretched tight across his muscular shoulders. Lisa waited for him in the reception area, glad to see another human face after weeks of being studied by the alien scientists. Professor Carter, welcome to Europa, she said, extending her hand. Alan shook it firmly. Dr. Morgan, good to finally meet you in person. Your reports back to Earth have been fascinating. Before Lisa could respond, Chief Researcher Zekalorn floated into the room, purple gas swirling excitedly inside its containment suit. Welcome, Professor Carter. We are pleased you have joined our research exchange. Alan looked up at the floating gas being and smiled. Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to this opportunity. Zekalorn's mechanical arms gestured toward a corridor. If you would please follow me for the standard arrival scans. Alan glanced at Lisa, who nodded reassuringly. It's routine. They're very interested in human biology. Interested is perhaps an understatement, Zekalorn said. Your species presents unique biological characteristics that challenge our understanding of viable life forms. In the examination room, Alan underwent the same scanning process that Lisa had experienced. The alien researchers gathered around, observing the holographic displays of his body systems with great interest. Fascinating, said Vrinta, a new researcher who had joined the station after hearing about the human visitors. Vrinta resembled a large insect with iridescent wings folded against its back. The muscular development of this specimen exceeds standard human parameters. I'm an athletic physiologist, Alan explained. I study how the human body responds to physical training. I practice what I research. You deliberately stress your biological systems? Vrienta clicked its mandibles in surprise. Yes, through exercise. I run marathons, races covering about 26 miles. The room fell silent. Even Lisa was surprised. She knew Alan was fit but hadn't realized he was a marathon runner. You travel 26 miles on foot, continuously? Zecalorn's gas body condensed into a tight ball, a sign of shock Lisa had learned to recognize. My personal best is just under 3 hours, Alan said proudly. Mel'un, the jellyfish-like being, rippled its tentacles in what Lisa now recognized as extreme agitation. Its translator spoke. But why would you continue moving after receiving pain signals? After exhausting your energy reserves? Alan looked confused. It's challenging, that's the point. Vrienta approached a display showing Alan's leg muscles and skeletal structure. Your species intentionally pushes past biological warning systems. You ignore clear pain signals that indicate tissue damage is occurring. Well, there's a difference between good pain and bad pain, Alan tried to explain. Some discomfort is expected during endurance activities. The aliens exchanged glances that Lisa had come to interpret as concern. Perhaps this explains much. About human history, Scalorn said slowly. Your species evolved as persistence predators, correct? You would chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion? Lisa nodded. That's the current theory, yes. A biological strategy that prioritizes continued movement despite system warnings. Vrienta made notes on a floating data pad. Most Confederation species evolved to conserve energy as a primary survival strategy. Movement is expensive in biological terms. The examination continued, with the aliens growing increasingly fascinated by Alan's cardiovascular capacity and muscle development. They tested his reflexes, measured his lung capacity, and took samples of his sweat for analysis. Later that day, Alan joined Lisa in the station's common area where they could speak privately. You weren't kidding about them being interested in our biology, he said, sipping from a water pouch. I feel like a lab specimen. They mean well, Lisa replied. They just find us very strange. To them, we're full of contradictions and what they see as design flaws. Design flaws? Alan raised an eyebrow. That's how they think of it. They can't understand why evolution would produce beings with our vulnerabilities. She lowered her voice. I overheard Zecalorn talking with the others. They're writing a research paper about humans called endurance pathology, how humans survive despite biological self-destruction. Alan laughed. Well, I'm looking forward to showing them what humans can do. I've brought some exercise equipment. I plan to maintain my training schedule while I'm here. 2 days later, Alan had set up a small gym in his quarters and began his regular training routine. Word spread quickly among the alien researchers, and soon he had an audience for his workouts. They watched in fascination as he ran on a treadmill, lifted weights, and performed various exercises. Vrienta became particularly interested in Alan's endurance capabilities. The insectoid researcher spent hours monitoring Alan's vital signs during his runs, recording data and asking endless questions. Your heart rate increases to pump more blood, but doesn't this strain the organ? Vrienta asked during one session. The heart is a muscle, Alan explained between breaths as he ran. It gets stronger with use, like any muscle. Counterintuitive, Vrienta noted. Most biological systems deteriorate with increased use. On the 10th day after Alan's arrival, disaster struck the station. An energy surge damaged the main power core, causing systems throughout the facility to fail. Emergency lighting activated, casting the corridors in a dim red glow. Kalorn called an emergency meeting in the common area. The backup power systems failed to engage automatically, the chief researcher explained. They must be activated manually from the auxiliary control room on the opposite side of the station. Why can't someone just go activate them? Lisa asked. Mel'un's tentacles rippled anxiously. The power failure has disabled our transport systems. None of us can travel that distance quickly enough before critical life support systems fail, Leonard looked at the station schematic on the wall. How far is it to the auxiliary control room? Approximately 12 miles through the station's circular main corridor, Zeclorn said. Alan stood up. I can run there. The alien stared at him. Impossible, Vreentok clicked. The distance is too great. I run farther than that in training, Alan said, already stretching his legs. Give me directions to the control panel and tell me what I need to do. After a brief explanation and with a small oxygen pack as a precaution, Alan set off down the corridor at a steady pace. The aliens watched the life signs monitor in astonishment as he maintained a consistent speed, his heart rate elevated, but stable. Remarkable, Zeclorn commented as they tracked his progress. He continues despite the clear biological stress signals. 47 minutes later, Alan reached the auxiliary control room and activated the backup systems. Power returned to the station gradually, section by section. When he jogged back into the common area, sweaty but smiling, the aliens regarded him with what Lisa recognized as awe. You saved the station, Zeclorn said. We are in your debt, Professor Carter. Alan shrugged. Just a good training run. Anyone need water? I'm parched. As Zeclorn fetched him a water pouch, Lisa overheard Vreentok speaking to Melun. Their biological persistence is not a flaw, the insectoid researcher said quietly. It may be their greatest strength. A month after Alan's heroic run through the station, the transport ship arrived with the third human visitor. Military nurse Kate Perry stepped through the airlock, her short blonde hair neatly combed and her posture straight. She carried two large cases of medical supplies and equipment. Lisa and Alan greeted her with relieved smiles. They had grown comfortable with the alien researchers but still missed human company. Nurse Perry, welcome to Europa Station, Lisa said. Please call me Kate, she replied, setting down her cases. It's wonderful to meet you both. Your reports have been required reading for everyone in the Earth-Vexillion exchange program. Alan helped with one of her cases. What did they send you with? Feels heavy. Medical supplies, monitoring equipment, and some research materials, Kate explained. Earth Command thought it would be good to have a medical professional on the team, especially after hearing about all the interest in human biology. Chief Researcher Zeclorn floated into the reception area, accompanied by Vreentok and a new alien researcher Kate hadn't seen in the briefing files. This new being resembled a small tree with bark-like skin and slender limbs that ended in delicate tendrils. Welcome to Europa Station, Nurse Perry, Zeclorn said. I am Chief Researcher Zeclorn. This is Vreentok, our xenobiologist, and Annex Plick, our specialist in cellular systems. The tree-like alien bowed slightly, its branches creaking. I have studied your medical files with great interest. Human cellular structures are fascinating. Thank you, Kate said. I'm looking forward to learning about your species as well. If you would please follow the standard arrival procedure, Zeclorn said, gesturing toward the corridor that led to the examination room. After the now familiar scanning process, Kate began unpacking her medical supplies in the laboratory space assigned to her. Lisa and Alan helped opening cases and organizing equipment. Be careful with that, Kate warned as Alan lifted a box of glass vials. Some of those contained sample preservation. Before she could finish, Alan's grip slipped, and one of the vials fell to the floor, shattering. A piece of glass bounced up and made a small cut on Kate's hand. Oh, sorry about that, Alan said, bending to clean up the mess. Kate reached for a cloth to wipe the blood from her hand. It's fine, just a small cut. She hadn't noticed that Nex Plick had entered the lab to welcome her. The tree-like alien froze at the doorway, its bark-like skin darkening dramatically. Emergency! Breach of external membrane! Medical emergency! Annex Plick's voice rose to a high-pitched creaking as alarm pheromones filled the room. Within seconds, Zeclorn and Vreentok rushed into the lab, followed by several other researchers. They found Kate standing with a small cloth pressed to her hand, looking confused at the commotion. Please remain calm, Nurse Perry, Zeclorn said. gas swirling rapidly in its containment suit. Our medical team will attend to your injury immediately. Kate looked at Lisa and Alan, who seemed equally bewildered by the overreaction. It's just a small cut, she said. I don't need medical attention. The aliens stared at her. Vreen Taz. Mandibles clicked rapidly. But your protective outer layer has been breached. Your internal fluids are escaping. Kate smiled. It's already stopping bleeding. See? She removed the cloth to show the small cut, where the blood was already beginning to clot. X-Plick moved closer, extending a tendril to examine the wound without touching it. Fascinating. Your fluid loss is self-limiting? Of course, Kate said. Blood clotting is a basic function of human physiology. The platelets in our blood begin to form a plug at the injury site almost immediately. The alien researchers exchanged what Lisa now recognized as their equivalent of astonished glances. And what of the breach itself? X-Plick asked. How will you seal your external membrane? It will heal on its own, Kate explained. Small cuts like this close up and repair themselves in a day or two. Without technological assistance, Zekalorn's gas body condensed into a tight ball of surprise. Kate nodded. Human skin is constantly regenerating. Cuts, scrapes, even burns will heal over time. X-Plick's branches trembled with excitement. Autonomous cellular regeneration, this is remarkable. In most Confederation species, external protective layers either do not self-repair or require significant energy and time to replace. Kate took a small first aid kit from her supplies and applied an antiseptic wipe to the cut, then a small bandage. This just keeps it clean and protected while it heals. The actual repair happens naturally. The aliens watched the simple procedure, as if it were a complex surgery. When Kate was finished, X-Plick asked permission to scan her hand with a small device it carried. I would like to document this process of autonomous repair if you permit it, the tree-like alien said. Of course. Kate agreed. I'm happy to help with your research. Over the next few days, Kate became the center of attention at the station. X-Plick monitored the healing of her small cut with fascination, taking readings every few hours and documenting the progress of the repair. During one examination session, Kate rolled up her sleeve to show X-Plick and Vrinta a small scar on her forearm. This is from a deeper cut I got during wilderness training 5 years ago, she explained. It healed completely but left this scar tissue. Vrinta's antennae twitched, and what Kate had learned was an expression of confusion. You carry permanent marks of previous damage, and yet function normally? Yes, scars are just part of life for humans, Kate said. Most of us have them. They don't usually affect function unless the injury was very severe. X-Plick's bark darkened, in what seemed to be disbelief. Your species continues operating with visible signs of accumulated damage, as if it were normal? Lisa laughed from across the room where she was updating her research notes. You should see my knee from when I fell off a boat during field research, or Alan's collection of running injuries. Alan grinned and showed a jagged scar on his calf. Barbed wire fence during a cross-country race. Didn't even stop running. Aliens' reactions made it clear this concept was profoundly strange to them. That evening, Kate found X-Plick and Zekalorn in deep discussion in the station's main laboratory. The implications are significant, X-Plick was saying as Kate entered. Humans exist in a constant state of damage and repair. They accumulate markers of system failures throughout their lives, yet continue functioning. Not just functioning, Zekalorn replied. They adapt to these changes. The scars strengthen certain tissues, and their neural networks adjust to compensate for alterations in their physical structure. It changes everything we understood about viable biological systems, X-Plick said. Their cells contain the instructions for repair, activated automatically by damage. It's inefficient compared to our technological solutions, but requires no external intervention. They noticed Kate standing in the doorway and fell silent. Please don't stop on my account, she said. I'm interested in your perspective on human biology. Zekalorn's mechanical arm gestured in welcome. We were discussing your species' remarkable regenerative capabilities. For most Confederation species, physical damage requires immediate technological intervention or represents a permanent reduction in function. Humans are simultaneously fragile and resilient, Nexplic added. Your external membrane is easily breached, yet possesses this remarkable ability to restore itself. It defies conventional biological logic. Kate smiled. I never thought of it that way. To us, healing is just a natural part of being alive. Perhaps that is what makes humans unique, Zeklorn said thoughtfully. You expect damage as part of existence, and have evolved not to prevent it but to recover from it. That's a good way of putting it, Kate agreed. We're not perfect, but we're good at bouncing back. As she left the laboratory, Kate overheard Nexplic say to Zeklorn, I must revise my research paper. The title will be Damage as a Design Feature, The Paradox of Human Regeneration. 2 months into the Human Vexillian Exchange Program, the Fourth Earth representative arrived at Europa Station. Dr. Frank Collins stepped through the airlock with a large case of neurological monitoring equipment. His gray beard and glasses gave him a scholarly appearance that matched his reputation as one of Earth's leading neurologists. Lisa, Alan, and Kate welcomed him warmly. After weeks of being scientific curiosities, they had formed a tight bond and were eager to add another human to their small community. Dr. Collins, welcome to Europa, Lisa said. How was your journey? Frank set down his equipment case and shook their hands. Long but fascinating. I've never seen Jupiter up close before. Magnificent sight. Chief researcher Zeklorn floated into the reception area, accompanied by a new alien researcher. This being resembled a small cloud of shimmering blue mist contained within a transparent field. Welcome, Dr. Collins. I am Chief Researcher Zeklorn, and this is Psywave, our specialist in consciousness studies. The misty alien pulsed gently, and a melodic voice emerged from a translator device. Your work on human neural pathways is most impressive, Dr. Collins. I look forward to our collaboration. After the now routine scanning procedure, Frank was shown to his quarters. The human team gathered there to help him unpack and set up his equipment. Fair warning, Alan said as he helped unpack a brain activity monitor. They're going to find something about your field that completely baffles them. It's happened to all of us. Frank smiled. I'm counting on it. The preliminary questions I've received suggest they're particularly interested in human sleep patterns. Kate nodded. They asked me about that too. I didn't have the expertise to explain it properly. Sleep is my specialty, Frank said. I've studied sleep disorders for 20 years. Later that evening, the 4 humans joined several of the alien researchers for a meal in the common area. The humans ate their Earth rations while the aliens consumed their own specialized nutrients. Frank noticed Psywave hovering nearby, its misty form pulsing with what seemed like curiosity. Is there something I can help you with, Psywave? Frank asked. The misty alien drifted closer. I have been studying your species' rest cycle data, Dr. Collins. Am I correct in understanding that humans regularly enter an unconscious state for approximately 1/3 of your lives? Frank nodded. That's right. We call it sleep. Most humans need about 8 hours of sleep per day, though it varies by individual. The common room fell silent as all the alien researchers turned their attention to this conversation. You become unconscious? Voluntarily? Every day? Zeklorn's gas body swirled in what the humans now recognized as extreme surprise. Well, it's not exactly voluntary, Frank explained. Sleep is a biological necessity for humans. If we go too long without it, our mental and physical functions deteriorate rapidly. Psywave pulsed rapidly. But during this state, you are vulnerable to predators and environmental dangers. Your consciousness simply shuts down? Essentially, yes, Frank said, though we can be awakened by strong stimuli. Vreenta clicked its mandibles in agitation. This seems like a catastrophic evolutionary disadvantage. How could natural selection favor a species that becomes helpless for hours each day? Frank smiled. That's a question that has puzzled human scientists as well. The leading theory is that sleep serves vital functions for brain maintenance and memory consolidation. The benefits outweigh the vulnerability. Nexplic's branches trembled. Do all humans require this shutdown period? Yes, all humans sleep, Frank confirmed, though the amount needed varies with age and individual factors. And what occurs during this unconscious state? Psywave asked. Is it simply an energy conservation mode? Far from it, Frank said. The brain remains very active during sleep, especially during the REM phase, rapid eye movement sleep. That's when most dreaming occurs. The translator struggled for a moment with the concept of dreaming, producing a variety of strange sounds before settling on approximations in the aliens' languages. Dreaming? Cyclorn repeated carefully. What is this process? Dreams are experiences created by the brain during sleep, Frank explained, like internally generated simulations or stories. Sometimes they're based on memories or daily experiences. Sometimes they're completely fantastical. The aliens exchanged what the humans now recognized as looks of utter confusion. You experience imaginary scenarios while unconscious? Psywave's misty form contracted into a tight ball. Are these pleasant experiences? Frank shrugged. Sometimes. Other times they can be confusing, bizarre, or even frightening. We call those nightmares. Wait, Vreenta interrupted, antennae twitching rapidly. Your species evolved to become regularly unconscious and experience fear simulations during this vulnerable state? The human team exchanged amused glances as the alien researchers struggled to comprehend this aspect of human biology. Over the next week, Frank's sleep became the focus of intense study. With his permission, the aliens monitored his brain activity during his sleep cycles. They were fascinated by the different phases of sleep and the dramatic changes in neural patterns that occurred. One morning, Frank found Psywave and Zecalorn waiting outside his quarters when he woke up. Good morning, he said, stifling a yawn. Were you monitoring my sleep all night? Yes, Psywave pulsed excitedly. We observed a complete REM cycle at 300 hours. Your eye movement patterns and brain activity were remarkable. Did you dream? Zecalorn asked. Frank nodded. Yes, actually. I was back on Earth teaching a class, but suddenly realized I was wearing pajamas instead of clothes. A fear simulation? Vreenta asked from down the corridor. More of an embarrassment simulation, Frank said with a chuckle. Common anxiety dream. The aliens followed him to the common area, continuing to ask questions about his sleep experience. The other humans were already there, enjoying their morning coffee. Being interrogated about your dreams? Lisa asked with a smile. Frank nodded as he poured himself coffee. They can't seem to understand why evolution would select for unconsciousness, combined with virtual simulations. It is counterintuitive, Zecalorn admitted. None of the Confederation species experience anything similar. The closest analog would be the hibernation state of Meloon species, but that is purely an energy conservation mode without any internal experiences. Lisa looked thoughtful. Perhaps that's what makes humans unique. Our brains never truly shut down, they just shift to a different kind of processing. Later that day, Frank attended a formal research presentation in the station's conference room. Psywave had prepared a preliminary report on human sleep patterns based on the data collected so far. The human consciousness cycle challenges our fundamental understanding of viable neural systems, Psywave began. Their neural networks require a regular period of altered functioning that renders them vulnerable yet seems essential to their cognitive processes. Projected on the wall behind Psywave were brain scans showing Frank's neural activity during different sleep phases. Most remarkably, Psywave continued, this sleep state is not a simple energy conservation mode but includes complex internal experiences called dreams that appear to serve cognitive processing functions. As the presentation continued, Frank noticed a subtle shift in the alien's perspective. What had begun as confusion over an apparent biological weakness was evolving into respect for a complex and sophisticated neural adaptation. Zecalorn summarized the findings at the end of the session. Human sleep patterns suggest their species may represent a transitional evolutionary state, one that sacrifices continuous consciousness for enhanced neural processing and memory consolidation. A transitional state toward what? Alan asked. Zecalorn's gas body swirled thoughtfully. That remains to be seen. But it suggests human cognition may be following a unique evolutionary path, one that none of our species have taken. As the meeting Adjourned Frank overhead psi wave speaking to NX Plick. I must reconsider my assumptions about optimal consciousness systems, the misty alien said. The human model suggests alternative evolutionary strategies we had not considered possible. The fifth and final human to join the Europa Station research team arrived 3 months after the program began. Chef Judy White stepped through the airlock carrying containers of fresh food supplies from Earth. Her round face broke into a warm smile as she saw the 4 other humans waiting to greet her. "Fresh fruit," Lisa exclaimed, peeking into one of the containers. "You have no idea how much we've missed this," Judy laughed. "Earth Command thought you all could use some home comforts after months of packaged rations." Chief Researcher Zek Lorne floated into the reception area, accompanied by a small, round alien with bright orange skin covered in tiny pores. This new being moved by rolling smoothly across the floor. "Welcome to Europa Station, Chef White," Zeke Lorne said. "I am Chief Researcher Zach Lorne, and this is Kirvex, our nutritional systems analyst." The orange alien rolled forward slightly. "I have studied Earth's culinary databases with great interest. The chemical variety in your food substances is remarkable." Judy smiled. "That's why I'm here, to introduce you to human cuisine and study your nutritional needs as well." After the standard arrival scans, which now seemed routine to the human team, Judy was shown to her quarters and then to the station's food preparation area. It had been modified with equipment sent from Earth on earlier supply missions. "I'll prepare dinner for everyone tonight," Judy announced. "It's been a while since you've had a proper meal cooked by human hands." The human team was excited, but the alien researchers showed what Lisa now recognized as nervousness. "Is it safe for us to consume human food?" NX Plick asked, branches quivering. "Slightly. Don't worry," Judy assured them. "I've studied the biochemical analysis of each species. I'll prepare separate dishes that are safe for everyone." That evening, the station's common area was transformed into a dining hall. Judy had prepared individual meals for each alien species based on their nutritional requirements, along with a feast of Earth foods for the human team. The humans dug in eagerly, savoring the fresh vegetables, herbs, and properly cooked proteins after months of packaged rations. "This is amazing," Frank said between bites of roasted vegetables. "I'd forgotten what real food tastes like." The aliens observed with fascination before cautiously trying their own specially prepared dishes. Reactions varied. Zeke Lorne absorbed the gaseous nutrients Judy had prepared, while Vreenta used its mandibles to sample insect protein analogs. Kirvex rolled closer to observe the humans eating. "You consume such a variety of substances. Plants, animal tissues, fungi, all in the same meal." "Humans are omnivores," Judy explained. "We can eat a wide range of foods. Some substances humans consume would be toxic to most Confederation species," Kirvex noted. "Your digestive system must be incredibly versatile." Alan nodded as he added hot sauce to his plate. "We can handle a lot. Some humans even train themselves to eat extremely spicy foods for fun." "Fun?" Meloon's tentacles rippled, in confusion. "You consume irritants for entertainment?" "Spicy food triggers pain receptors," Kate explained. "But many humans enjoy that sensation when eating." The aliens exchanged what the humans now recognized as looks of disbelief. As the meal continued, Judy introduced the humans to a surprise, a chocolate cake for dessert. The humans reacted with enthusiasm, while the aliens watched in fascination. "What is this substance?" Vreenta asked, antennae twitching at the rich smell. "Chocolate," Judy said. "It contains compounds that are actually toxic to some Earth animals, but humans not only tolerate it, we love it." Kirvex rolled closer to scan the cake with a small device. "Fascinating. The chemical compounds in this food would cause severe reactions in 5 of our 7 Confederation species. One person's food is another person's poison," Frank commented, enjoying a bite of cake. Over the next week, Judy continued preparing meals and studying the nutritional needs of both humans and aliens. Kirvex spent hours in the food preparation area, observing and analyzing her work. "Your species consumes such a wide range of organic matter," the orange alien noted one day as Judy prepared lunch. "And you transform it through application of heat and chemical additives. We call it cooking." Judy said with a smile. It makes food safer, more digestible, and more enjoyable. But some of your foods contain compounds that would be considered dangerous in our biochemistry, Kirvex continued. Yet you not only survive consuming them, you seek them out specifically for their effects. Like coffee, Judy said, holding up a cup of the dark liquid. It contains caffeine, which is technically a natural insecticide, but for humans it's a mild stimulant that helps us stay alert. You consume insecticide to stay awake? Kirvex's orange skin darkened in what Judy had learned was an expression of surprise. When you put it that way, it does sound strange, Judy admitted with a laugh. Later that week, Kirvex presented findings to the entire research team. The common room was filled with both humans and aliens as the nutritional analyst rolled to the center of the gathering. My analysis of human digestive capabilities has revealed surprising results, Kirvex began. Humans possess what might be the most adaptable digestive system among known sentient species. Holographic displays showed comparative digestive tract diagrams of humans and various Confederation species. While inefficient in many ways, Kirvex continued, the human system can process an extraordinary range of organic materials. They can extract nutrients from substances that would be indigestible or toxic to most other species. Zicalorn's gas body swirled thoughtfully. This connects to our other findings about human biology. Their regenerative capabilities, endurance, factors, and neural patterns all suggest a similar pattern. What pattern is that? Lisa asked. Adaptability over specialization, Zicalorn replied. Where Confederation species evolved highly efficient but specialized biological systems, humans appear to have evolved for maximum adaptability. Psi-Wave's misty form pulsed gently. This would explain the seemingly contradictory aspects of human biology we have observed. Features we initially interpreted as flaws or inefficiencies may actually represent evolutionary trade-offs that maximize adaptive potential. The station fell quiet as both humans and aliens considered this insight. So our messy, inefficient biology actually has an advantage? Alan asked. Precisely, Nxplick said, branches swaying gently. While each individual system in human biology might be less efficient than our specialized equivalents, the combination creates a remarkably adaptable whole. Jack of all trades, master of none, Frank murmured, but oftentimes better than a master of one. 2 weeks later, the human team gathered in the communication center for a scheduled conference with Earth Command. After their update on research progress, the news from Earth was unexpected. The Vexillian High Council has reviewed the preliminary research from Europa Station, the Earth Command officer reported. They have formally requested to establish a permanent scientific exchange program with Earth. Their exact words were that human biology represents a revolutionary paradigm in evolutionary adaptation strategies. Lisa looked at her teammates in surprise. They really were impressed by our biological flaws. Not flaws, Alan corrected with a smile. Adaptive compromises. After the communication ended, the human team found Zicalorn and the other alien researchers waiting outside. We have something to show you, the chief researcher said. They followed the aliens to the main laboratory where a holographic display showed the title of a new research paper, Adaptive Imperfection, the Evolutionary Advantage of Human Biological Compromises. This is our collective analysis of human biology, Zicalorn explained. It will be distributed throughout the Confederation as a foundational text in comparative xenobiology. The findings have already caused significant discussion among our scientific communities, Vreenta added, mandibles clicking excitedly. Several research institutions are developing new evolutionary theories based on what we've learned from humans. So after all your concern about what's wrong with human biology, Lisa said with a smile, you've decided there's something right about it after all? Indeed, Zicalorn replied, gas body swirling gently. Your biology may be chaotic, inefficient, and seemingly contradictory by our standards, but these very traits may hold the key to the next stage of galactic evolution. As the humans looked at each other with pride, Chef Judy grinned. I think this calls for a celebration dinner. Who's hungry?